Hi, welcome to Bruce's Garage. I'm Bruce, and this is my garage right behind me here. All right, today we are going to test some brand new microfiber tiles, and we're going to figure out if they're really worth their price. These tiles are some of the most expensive microfiber tiles you can buy for drying your vehicle. But are they really worth the near $50 price tag? We're going to find out. Plus, I have a few other tiles as a surprise. So come on in and let's have some fun. Well, thanks for coming back to visit me today in the garage. Appreciate it so much. Hey, if you're new here, welcome. And if you've been around and you haven't subscribed yet, I'd certainly appreciate that because we're going to have some fun today and in the future. And I don't want you to miss a single thing from Bruce's Garage. All right, let me tell you a little bit about these microfiber tiles. These are made by a company called KLiN from South Korea. Now, as you probably know, South Korean microfiber tiles are some of the best microfiber tiles that exist, which is pretty much the standard. So tiles made from South Korea, the yarns that are used in the microfiber, as well as the whole manufacturing process, are pretty much recognized as the best microfiber. Now, KLiN is a factory that is completely owned by the company that makes these. They see the whole process through from the yarn all the way through complete manufacture and packaging. And I will tell you indeed, when I open the packages of these towels, these are all KLiN towels up here, by the way, I would say, you do notice a difference. They're soft. They're certainly, you can tell they're well made. And we're going to test them out because they're also generally some of the most expensive microfiber tiles. So, and we're going to talk about that, and I'll compare and show you the price, not only in the cost of the total towel, but the price per square inch. Now, let me tell you about the two types of tiles that I have. One is called the Drying Duo, and the other is the Evo, the Drying Duo Evo. This is the Evo. Now, the Evo is that short, very short, micro twist loop. So there's no loop in here that can get caught on car emblems, and they do a generally very good job of drying, particularly if your car's ceramic coated. They come in three different sizes: a small, medium, and large. This is the medium size, and the medium is, let me pull out my notes, the medium size are around 18 by 27, and the reason I say about is sometimes these microfibers can differ by about a ½ inch, and frankly, depending upon if it's the Evo or the Duo, they can vary just a little bit in their specification, but they're about 18 by 27 is the medium. The small one is 14 by 8, so it's a very small size. Now you may say, what am I going to do with that thing? Well, I will tell you, when I played with this about a week or two ago, the thing I did like about this was that if you have small areas around the mirror, even on the side of the vehicle, this can really absorb. Now, this one is not a micro twist loop. This is the Duo, so not the Evo, the Duo. It is a standard twist loop, a double layer, so it's sewn together, layer on each side, no edge. It's completely covered with microfiber, and this worked really well. I could also see using these for wheels. This is the large. This is a 35 by 27 micro twist loop, so this is the Evo. This is the large size, and again, it's very well constructed. You can see the seams down the middle where they sew the sides together. Pretty heavy. These are pretty good size towels, as well as pretty durable in terms of water. Now, this is the Drying Duo, so this is another twist loop. This also is the large. You'll see they do come in different colors, so they typically have red, gray, yellow, and I believe blue. So those are the typical colors they have available. You might use different colors because you like the color or because you want to designate certain color for certain things. But regardless, this towel certainly can absorb more. It's a much heavier grams per square meter. The GSM of this towel is much heavier than the Duo Evo. So let's just get right in and start testing these expensive towels to figure out if they're the best for us. All right, this is the Drying Duo Evo. This is about $48.99, made by KLiN, and this is the large towel. So straight on the surface and just pull to dry. Missed one spot here, but wow, it's completely dry. Very easy to pull. Missed some spots up here. Certainly it feels very good on the surface. Nice and smooth. Again, this vehicle's ceramic coated, so you don't get tons of extra water. Not bad to hold up, even though it is a large towel, because of its weight, and its size is not overly large, but certainly I'd prefer not to use something bigger than this towel on these flat surfaces of the vehicle, such as the hood or roof. As you get into some of these bigger towels, especially the heavier ones, they're a bit harder to manage, particularly when they get soaked with water. Yeah, this towel did a really nice job. Let's go ahead and we're going to do it again, just because sometimes these towels actually do better the more they get wet. So we're going to just wet this up one more time. And we're going to give this one more shot here too, just to see how it does. Nice job. Yeah, I mean, it's really, I'm not seeing any water remaining except a couple little spots I missed from my throw. No real pressure on the towel at all. So as the towel gets a little bit wetter, it's nice because it starts to just have a little bit more weight to it, which helps then absorb some of that water. Now, from a comparison standpoint, even though this is the same essential towel except smaller, I think we'll use it and we'll give this a shot just so, again, you can see the difference in the sizes. And it helped me when I tested some other towels kind of figure out, how would I use this? Would I use a medium-sized towel? Would I use the large towel? And where would I use it? So we're going to try this one out. So again, this is the Duo Evo, the medium size in red. Performance on this towel is about the same. It's a little bit lighter weight, so I did notice it's not getting up near the windshield in terms of the weight to try to dry. It is much easier, of course, to manage. I think it's a great towel for things like even in the grill here. A little bit easier to keep up off the ground, especially if I'm going low on the front. Now this is the Drying Duo. Again, this is a standard double layer twist loop. So this has got the bigger loop to it. We're going to try this. This is a higher GSM tile. So this should do a very good job of drying. Perfect really for this hood. So a large SUV. Yes, it's drying super well. Pretty easy again to drag across the surface. Definitely one of those very absorbent towels. Again, a little bit, you got to lift this up a little bit because again, it's a big towel and a little bit harder to kind of maneuver inside the grill. Again, because it is a thicker, so it's heavier. It has double layer and it's that standard kind of twist loop. Very nice towel. This again retails for about $48.99. So these are not cheap towels. Does a very nice job though. Now we're going to be answering the question, okay, so it works great. It's $48.99. Is it worth it versus what some of the other towels of similar size cost? I don't know. We're going to see. Now this is the small size. And again, this is the Duo, so this is the same style as that last towel. It's a twist loop. So I don't have the micro twist in the small from KLiN, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this just to show you like where I think on the grill and how this just feels a little bit different in terms of how you might use this size towel. So hopefully you can see, like even in this case of using this on the grill, I'm not having to have a second hand to hold up the towel. I would tell you that this is so much easier in terms of getting it into these tight spaces. And you may say, okay, so you don't have to use a second hand? Are you that lazy? No, I'm not that lazy, but there is something about fatigue. I think the more times your arms, both arms are always in active movement. So if you're a pro, this size towel might be useful because you're doing multiple vehicles. And so as you're doing multiple vehicles, I think anything that makes you more efficient and or less fatigued is of value. And I told you we have an appearance by some special guest towels today. We do. So just arrived yesterday, the brand new version 2 of the DIY drying blanket, which by the way has historically always been my favorite drying towel. It is a very short micro twist loop like the Duo Evo from KLiN. These are made in South Korea. And we have two sizes now. We have the drying blanket mini. So I'm excited because it's similar to that small size towel. I'll show you these. And we have the regular drying blanket and a real special guest that someone gifted me. And I don't know if you can see the design on here or not. This towel is also made in South Korea, and this is from Kataba. This is one of their towels. It is embossed with their logo, and the name of the towel is also there in Korean. This is a blue towel, micro twist, double-sided. You can see the seam. We'll go ahead and try this towel out and see how it works. This was a gift. I almost just want to frame this. It's a beautiful towel. Worked really well there, dried very well. Missed a spot here, but I think as that gets a little bit more weight, because boy, it's just drying wonderfully well. And this is more of a fun towel because they're not available for sale in the United States. The Kataba towel. This is the DIY detail drying blanket. Again, 70/30, it's pre-laundered, South Korean made. You can see its size. I would tell you, you know, in feeling the towel compared to the KLiN or even the Katiba, this is very subjective. I do detect a difference. Like those towels do feel maybe a tad softer, or maybe it's psychological because I know they're really expensive towels. But I've always liked the drying blanket. I suspect this will do very well. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, really well. I missed one little spot here, but very well. Really nice drying. It wasn't a great throw there, but it really, I'm not putting hardly any pressure here. Dries very nice. Now again, you can see the size of this towel. I have to make sure that when I'm drying low here that I am not touching the ground. Just again, something I have to be cognizant of with a larger towel. The DIY Drying Blanket Mini, as they're called, you get 2 in this package. They're 8 by 15. These are all hand-packed, pre-washed. So again, similar to the size of that KLiN towel, I think I'm going to like this size for the grill. We're going to compare this to that KLiN towel. Almost identical in size. Definitely the twist loop, standard twist loop versus the micro twist. Yeah, this is great to get in these small spots. Now, interestingly, I will tell you, this does not seem as malleable into these small spots as I would say the regular twist loop is, but certainly dries extremely well. Very easy to maneuver. I can actually get it in these very small little spots. And I can kind of tell as it gets a little bit more moisture in it, it's becoming a little bit easier to work with in terms of fitting in these tight spaces. Yes, that works really nice. And I could see using especially these gray ones, like being my dedicated wheel towels. All right, so let's recap a few things here. Number one, I know I mentioned around the packaging and some of the things that KLiN does to make their towels a bit unique. So one of the things they do is they actually call it their Containment Control System, or CCS. All the towels are pre-washed, air dusted, and sealed. And that's their containment control system. Essentially, they're trying to avoid as many, if not all, contaminants from your towel so that when you get it, you can open it and start using it. Since it's pre-washed, you can use it. I'm assuming air dusted. I don't know for sure. I am assuming it means, again, kind of sprayed with air in terms of trying to reduce or remove any type of dust particles from the product. Of course, you can wash these if you prefer before you use them, but since they're pre-washed, it is not necessary to do. And in the version 2 towels from the House of Rags, such as the DIY Detail Drying Blanket, that also comes pre-washed and ready to use. So the $1 million question, or maybe I should say the $48.99 question is it worth that price tag over other towels? So let's give you, I've got a chart here that I'll show you in terms of the retail cost. So let's just first look at retail cost and give you an example. So that drying blanket version 2 is $26.99. And you compare that to the Duo Evo from KLiN, the large, that is $48.99. So you're comparing a cost of $48.99 to $26.99. Now, when we look at a cost per square inch, the version 2 of the DIY drying blanket is 2.8 cents per square inch. Pretty low cost. It's actually one of the lower cost towels. The KLiN Evo Large is 5.7 cents. So essentially double the cost per square inch. Is it worth double the cost? No, I don't think it is. Would I buy it again? Probably. Doesn't make any sense, right? No, it doesn't. But is it worth? I think there's a difference. I believe I can tell a difference, but that difference is not worth double the cost. Now, I have links for all these products in the description below, so you don't have to worry. If you want to buy one, certain one you're looking for, go for it. The KLiN towels, there are no affiliate links. This is not sponsored. I bought all these towels myself. So I would like to think I am completely objective in this. But I don't know that that KLiN Duo Evo is worth double the cost if you're comparing to the price of the DIY detail drying blanket. I think that drying blanket, honestly, is still a super, super great value. It seems to dry really well. My previous drying blanket dried really well. So I think version 2 is going to continue to be strong, and I love the mini size. And again, I love that small size of the Duo itself also. Now that's the regular twist loop. And I do like that regular twist loop over the small drying blanket. So again, if I'm going on the smaller towels, which by the way is $15.99 for that small towel, but when you look at it, a cost per square inch, those small KLiN towels have a very high cost per square inch, over 13 cents. You can't go wrong with those KLiN towels. Let's just be clear. They are high quality, but can you tell the difference? I think I can tell a little bit. Is it worth the additional cost? Probably not. What I would tell you though is, number one, pick a towel that is the right size for the job you're trying to do. And I hopefully gave you that sense of whether you want a small, medium, or large size towel. Pick whether you like that micro twist or the standard twist loop towel. Again, you can look at the GSM. Higher GSM tend to absorb more water. They also tend to be heavier. So try those out, see what you like. I like the micro twist personally, but I like the twist loop for those small surfaces. I think the twist loop, the regular twist loop, somehow seemed to work better. Maybe it was a bit more flexible in the grill and those small areas. And I like the micro twist for the larger surface areas. So those are the kinds of things to think about. Now remember, we dry our vehicle after we wash, and drying is so important because if you don't dry, number one, you're going to end up with water spots because your water has minerals in it. So that's going to create another issue for you to remedy. So drying is an important task in washing. The other reason these towels are extremely important is because when you're drying, you're dragging something across the surface. You hope, you should have the vehicle completely clean so that drying doesn't introduce any marring. But honestly, that's the time that marring the surface, creating those tiny little scratches, is the most prone. So that's why having the right high quality microfiber towel is super important in drying. So I hope that this video, again, has given you another look at some additional microfiber towels that are available to you for drying your vehicle. I have been super excited to try the KLiN towels. I am very impressed with those. Similarly, I am very impressed with the DIY detail drying blanket. I think it's an excellent towel. I have another microfiber towel video that I did just a couple of weeks ago, and I'll link that up there on top so you can take a look at that as well if you haven't seen it. I sincerely appreciate your time that you've taken to watch this video. I'd appreciate a thumbs up. I'd appreciate a subscribe, and I want to know what your favorite drying towel is. So leave that for me in the comments below. Any questions, I'll do my best to get the answers for you. And again, thanks for coming into my garage today. And remember, just go out and have fun detailing your car. Have a great day.